The Maldives is a massive archipelago of nearly 1,200 coral islands scattered across the Indian Ocean. Its entire population is just a fraction of a typical modern city. But look at this map. The Maldives sits directly over critical maritime shipping lanes, where the vast majority of global sea trade passes. Controlling this choke point is a necessity for any superpower to secure trade routes and block foreign influence. Yet, despite its strategic weight, the physical country is incredibly fragile. This is the capital city, Malé. It is small, isolated, and intensely densely packed. On November 3, 1988, that vulnerability was exploited. In the dead of night, heavily armed mercenaries arrived on Malay's shores via speedboats. These militants from the separatist group Plot carried high-tech weapons with a single objective: overthrow the government. If the capital fell, a non-state actor would control the very ground needed to monitor and secure this shipping corridor. By holding these islands, a mercenary faction could harbor hostile vessels or disrupt traffic along a global trade route with no international accountability. The attackers immediately swarmed the capital. They seized radio stations, ports, and government buildings. President Mamoun Abdul Gayoom narrowly escaped his palace, forced into hiding at a secure safe house as gunfire echoed through the streets. Realizing the capital was lost, Maldivian officials began transmitting frantic global SOS messages. They pleaded for immediate military intervention, calling Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Singapore, the United Kingdom, and the United States. But the Western powers hit a logistical wall. While the US and UK maintained naval forces at the Diego Garcia military base, that installation was 1,000 kilometers away. Mobilizing a fleet and transporting troops across the ocean would take up to 3 days. Malay simply did not have 3 days. The plea finally reached New Delhi. Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi immediately convened his military chiefs, and within hours, India answered with a definitive yes. They would launch a massive, zero-notice military response. By stepping into this logistical vacuum while Western forces were stalled, India was taking on an enormous risk. It was an outright test of their capacity to act as a decisive regional power. Look at this graphic. The Indian Army had a severe intelligence gap. They didn't actually have proper military maps of the Maldives. To plan a full-scale foreign intervention, commanders had to rely on coffee table books and trace tactical overlays directly onto tourist maps. Despite the intelligence gap, the deployment was a sprint. The 50th Independent Parachute Brigade mobilized out of Agra, boarding heavy IL-76 transport planes to fly 2,000 kilometers non-stop into hostile airspace. This map outlines Phase 1 of the assault. Planners knew dropping paratroopers over tiny islands in the dark risked dropping them straight into the ocean. Instead, the planes landed directly on the runway at Hulhuli Airport to secure the critical tarmac. With the airfield locked down, Phase 2 began. Troops commandeered local civilian boats, crossing the water channel directly into Malay under the threat of enemy fire. Once on the island, the rescue timeline moved quickly. By 2 a.m., Indian paratroopers successfully located President Gayoom at his safe house and extracted him to a secure military headquarters. With the head of state secure, Phases 3 and 4 went into effect. Indian forces fanned out, systematically sweeping the streets, engaging the mercenaries in tight urban firefights, and wresting control of the government buildings back from the militants. The military successfully executed a high-stakes ground assault on a foreign island, proving that rapid adaptability on the ground is more valuable than waiting for perfect military intelligence. Realizing the coup had failed, the mercenary leaders enacted a desperate escape plan. They hijacked a freighter, took the Maldivian education minister and several civilians as hostages, and attempted to flee across the open water toward Sri Lanka. The Indian Navy immediately took over the pursuit. Warships already active in the region, specifically the frigates INS Godavari and INS Betwa, were ordered to hunt down the escaping vessel. The Indian warships successfully intercepted the hijacked boat. Refusing to let the mastermind escape, the Indian frigates opened fire, hitting the fleeing vessel with heavy naval cannons and rocket launchers. The precision barrage achieved exactly what it needed to. The freighter was disabled, the mastermind of the coup was captured, and the hostages were pulled from the wreckage safely. By tracking a moving target across the ocean while a ground war concluded on land, India proved it could seamlessly coordinate its Air Force, Army, and Navy in complex multi-domain combat operations.
Operation Cactus took exactly 18 hours. The coup was crushed, 19 militants were killed, the government was restored, and India suffered 0 casualties on the ground. The operation drew immediate international attention. In Washington, U.S. President Ronald Reagan publicly praised India's rapid intervention, citing its vital contribution to regional stability. British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher echoed the sentiment, remarked, "Thank God for India." The major Western powers fully recognized the success of the mission. In the geopolitical aftermath, military strategists applied a new label to New Delhi, a net security provider. This term refers to a nation possessing both the military hardware and the political will to actively ensure the safety of its surrounding region, stepping in where others cannot. And it forged a significant diplomatic victory. The mission established a deep reliance between the Maldives and India, securing those vital shipping lanes through trust and immediate military support. The speed of the intervention showed that while global powers were days away, India could secure the region in hours. This 18-hour mission established New Delhi as the primary military responder for the Indian Ocean.